if I can get a motion to approve the minutes from December 6th, and I don't know, do you want to go ahead and lump it together with our scheduled joint meeting, November 23rd?
I'll make a motion to approve the December 6th and the November 23rd.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Claims 1 through 274, in the amount of $237,621, and payroll claims.
I thought it was 900,000. The claims. Maybe I looked at it. The total, the grand total was 900,000.
910,947.
Okay, yeah, I didn't have
That,
it.
I see.
237.
Yeah,
Community crossing.
it was-
still 900,000.
Yeah, so the grand total needs to be corrected.
Yes.
So 910,947 and 5 cents.
Okay.
910,947 and 5 cents.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
But it's just.
Remember report collection of the ambulance office?
I will make a motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
I know Jill's on Zoom, and we're getting ready to act on the agreement for the PHI Cares membership. In the amount of $48,818, and I think the council did discuss this at their last meeting Monday, and we're in agreement to do this for the residents. There will be a public release of some sort notifying the residents of this. And then parcels made available for the ticket. And I think the council is on board with using riverboat revenue sharing funds to do that. We were supposed to come up with the money now, but since it's so late in the year, we don't have time to do the additional preparations. So I think Jill is fine with us acting on it in 2021.
I have one question for Jill that I never get answered. I didn't call her directly, so it wasn't her fault. I understand this will pay for a flight out of Fountain County. To help people without insurance. My question is, what about the people with the insurance? And I have a $10,000 deductible, and I get hit with a $10,000 deductible. They don't pay for that too.
I'm asking her if she can hear. She hasn't responded yet.
Because there's a lot of those out there.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Joe. Good morning.
Hey, I think I heard that question. So let me see if I did. Are you asking, will we pay for the those folks that have insurance for their deductible out of pocket and co-insurances?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so basically that is what the beauty is of the PHI Cares membership, because we not only pay for deductibles, co-pays, and out of pockets, but before the CARES Act, we also were paying whatever insurance didn't pay. So the nice thing is, even though we can no longer balance bill, we're still going to be covering the deductibles, out of pockets, and co-insurances. So yeah. And the other nice thing is I've been asked questions about, okay, what about those people that don't have insurance? It doesn't matter. We don't look at the county and say, okay, we're only going to cover those that we get a little bit from insurance. It's anybody in the county will have the same coverage. So those that don't have insurance, it's actually going to be benefiting them probably even more because they won't have any bill.
Okay, thank you, Jill.
You're welcome.
2-year or 3-year contract.
Annual.
And
Well, to give you kind of a flight is about $35,000 to $45,000 at this point. So if you do one a year, and it's dark.
Yeah. Hey,
How
Joe.
many flights do you have left?
Yeah, there we go.
They were usually average 3 to 6 flights a month.
I think it's a no-brainer, that it will pay for itself, and citizens ought to be very happy to have it. I mean, if you don't have to pay the out of pocket, because that would be the scary thing. If I wasn't in bad shape on the scene, I'd be in bad shape and then load me in that helicopter and I had to pay for it. So, yeah, so that's great. So I'll make a motion to accept the year contract with PHI for helicopter.
And I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission appointment, one of us could make that motion to reappoint Tim to it, and then I guess I would be the alternate.
I'll make a motion to appoint Tim, and then appoint Brenda as alternate.
And I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And for those of you who don't know, the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission is a commission set up by the state of Indiana for all 19 counties that touch the Wabash River. It receives its funding actually from oil underneath the Wabash River down in Knox County, I believe. And State Representative Dale Grubb was responsible for giving us that money 25, 30 years ago. So it's got a lot of Mountain County roots. There's money to be had that we don't use every year. If you promote something along the Wabash, they'll fund canoe, kayak events, things like that. So we need to get a little more involved. Probably promoting the river is probably one of the biggest assets that Fountain County has that no one knows about. And actually the 74 Bridge is the halfway point of the Wabash. So geographic halfway point. So from Ohio to the Ohio River. So it's a really good program. Bob Shepherd for years, the ex-Attica mayor, was on the board and I was his alternate. And a couple of years, Bob stepped off and I stepped on and we haven't had an alternate. And Brent's going to tell if I can't make meetings, sure.
Has Dale White had any conversations with you regarding those funds and how they can be used for the government circle trail?
Briefly, and then, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's used for those funds, because we just did a,
Well, there's two different, there's $1,000 to $1,500 grants for different things. And then there's $150,000 grants. There's two of those given a year.
those are the
Usually if we
ones,
have the money, yeah.
those are the ones we would need. We just did a wetland delineation. We have to buy some wetland credits that are not cheap at all,
Okay.
or to finish up that trail. But that money could be used for that, maybe a shot in the arm for them.
Yeah, okay. And it usually takes probably turn the application. It all depends on how oil is doing right now. Not very strong, so. Okay.
Okay. This is not on the agenda, so I'm not going to move on to the department head just yet. I do have before me an LPA consulting contract for county bridge inspections with USI Consultants. And that contract will start May 1st, 2022 through April 30th, 2025. I got a motion from one of you to accept this contract.
I'll accept USI consultant for the bridge inspections. I'll make a motion.
All second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Now on to department heads. Someone has something else. Barb, you're up.
Couple things. We had another issue. Well, it did back up into station, but we're having ongoing issues with the drainage station. You know, we went in and changed all the stools to the more, more water going through. We had an issue Saturday night, things weren't flushing again. We were able to get it unplugged, but we're having an ongoing issue with that. I don't know where we need to move forward from this point. It's, what's happening is there's 3 lines coming into one, and it's hanging up right there in that Y is where it's hanging up. And I'm just afraid that one of these times we're not gonna catch it and it's gonna back up into this building itself again.
Is it under concrete?
Yep. That's the problem and challenge. So I don't know. Reach out to Matt again, Matt Johnson. I don't know if,
Ain't gonna happen.
I don't know if Roger's got some ideas. I don't know.
I was outside talking, I'm running my mouth.
Have an ongoing issue with our drainage in our building. It's where they've got the sewer line coming in. The 3 lines coming into one. It's hanging up right there in that Y. And we changed the stools to put more water in, and it's still almost had another backup over the weekend. But it's all under concrete, but I don't know what.
Do we have as-built how they put those piping together?
Do we have what?
As-built, do we know what's under the concrete, how they're connected?
I don't know. We have to ask, we could go back to the general contractor and ask where it may be in the blueprint.
Yeah, county actually ought to have. I don't know where we
It should have been a
should.
requirement of public funds to have an access that on file someplace. At least it's a red line on paper.
I'd be happy to help with it.
Okay, I just didn't know. I hate to get us in that situation we did 2 years ago. It was pretty expensive. When we went back up into the building, and I don't want to see that happen again, so. We were able to get it unplugged this weekend, but it's right there in that one little big block hangs up right there. So. Anyway, I'll get with you or whatever, and I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe as
yeah, hopefully. The AFG grant has been pushed back, so that, it's been pushed back to January 18th, so, we'll get that done, and then I'd ask you guys permission to move forward with, asking for funding for the, power load systems for, COTS. And, we'll get that done. And the last thing I talked to Colleen, we had put, from understanding, we put the green truck up for bid. And there was no bid that came in on that, none of them.
No.
So I don't know if how we can do this, but there's what do you want to call, they advertise ambulances and that's called ambulancetrader.com. Are we allowed to go ahead and put that on there? And okay. Maybe we can see if we can get rid of it that way.
Yeah.
So,
I figured somebody would do something like this. I don't know.
yeah, I never saw the bid, so was it in the
It was
paper?
in the paper.
Was it? Okay. I never
It
saw
ran
it.
the same time Rusty's did.
Was it? Okay, okay. It's very surprising somebody didn't bid on it. So.
Yeah.
But
Do we
anyway,
have a reserve on the bid?
I think we said 5,000. At least minimum of that.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's an ambulance.
It's an army, it's a
Desert Storm.
Desert Storm, it's an army ambulance, so basically it's on a 1989 Ford 350, with an ambulance box. But a lot of people that have showed interest, they want to take the box off and make a utility truck out of it, because it's full of drive. The workhorse, it's just, the box is too small for us to be able to do any work out of it.
If it does not sell, please let me know. I know Rotary Fishers takes ambulances and donates them to towns in Mexico
Okay,
that do not have access to vehicles.
okay,
Should it not sell and we just need to get rid of it, please let me know and I can make change.
okay. I just didn't know if there was a process we could wait to follow through, but I was gonna put it on email later, so we can get rid of it. So,
That ambulance was stored in England.
yes, stored in a box, cargo boxes.
Right,
Basically, they just took them out and drove around the corner right back in.
right.
Yep. So they did once a month.
We invested $750 to get along the Beer Street.
Yeah.
And the semi, we got 5 other pickups. That all came in one bundle back government surplus was available for local governments, so we picked up a lot of equipment, so. And it only had like 700 miles.
Yeah. That's all I got. You guys got anything else?
I appreciate it. Thank you, Carl. There you go. Is sheriff here?
No.
Eric, Jenny, is Eric? Yeah, I knew what Jenny, come on, get some, have some for us.
What can I do, you?
I don't have it, it's something you have.
He just wants to see it.
Life good?
Going.
Okay, so.
It's going, right?
Alright, thank you. Eric, do you have anything for us? You guys are easy, so. Before I get too far, do we have an update on the process of the kitchen equipment there at the?
No, the last, I was told, we asked the insurance company to directly give it to 4-H, I believe, instead of us. They said that they couldn't or wouldn't do that. And so I don't have any problem. I think we already declared surplus or discussed that at last meeting, or
I don't think so. I think the last meeting we discussed it, this one, the insurance end.
I think you advertise it and see if you get any bids, or you go through the process to donate it. I mean, the state boards, the Board of Accounts wants to audit and give you a flag for donating to a local not-for-profit like 4-H and money.
You're right. Thank you. I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Alright. And just to be clear, we're making a motion to,
on the hand, so.
we're making a motion to donate it to the 4-H.
Thank you.
Should declare a surplus and donate
Donate to a not-for-profit,
Yeah.
county 4-H. You know, I was joking, right?
I'll say, go talk to Tim when I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
wrote
yeah,
up.
Yeah, you did it last night. We'll talk to the committee.
Yeah.
And it's on public record.
Joe, do you have anything?
No, I do not. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Okay, guess we're done. Oh, wait, arrested. Go, Paula, go ahead. I was making a joke for Rusty, but Paula, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So redistricting, we got it published last week on the 16th. Of course, it was a forced redistrict from the congressional district line, so our precincts were redrawn, which you know. Thank you for coming and getting with me. The deadline to object to being in election division is December 26th. And so as long as we don't hear anything from that, which even if there is an objection, I don't think there's really anything you can do about it because it was forced through the congressional district redesign. So, and then the other thing is we have to, the redistricting of the council districts, everything was came to the conclusion. The only way we could get it under the 10% deviation is what I came up with the map.
Right.
And so you just have to, you guys have to sign an ordinance, pass an ordinance for that. No later than the filing date is January 5th. So it has to be done before then in order to have the districts established. So when they file, they know that they're in the correct district.
Okay.
What council district, commissioner district that they reside in. And, again, voting machines are set up in my office. If anybody wants to cast a vote, how the new election equipment works, I'm gonna encourage everybody to come to my office and try it. So
I feel like you're going back in time, by the way. I wasn't of age when all these paper ballots, I've always used a little credit card machine.
Over there.
And and now I'm going back to like, holy smoke, we're going back in time, but here we go.
Welcome to the day and age we're living in.
Yes.
And
I'll just, are you comfortable with that ordinance being passed on the meeting on the 4th?
I have skin in my teeth. I mean, that's on you guys. But I mean, as long as we, you know, and
Is anything different from what we presented at the last meeting?
it is not,
From the ordinance,
no.
Okay.
then that was. Either consider introduced, it was on the agenda at the last meeting for introduction, and you could vote on that today, or. Because that was just the form of the ordinance, the
That's
map was the only thing that was.
And the map, I think I had submitted the roughly drawn map. And the more specific maps will come out from the election division once they have everything and everything's switched over. It's such a process.
Well, I haven't looked, I mean, if the deadline's a deadline, it's okay to have that on the January 4th, or special meeting, whatever you think is safest. Make sure we don't create a controversy.
Since we've already had it at the last meeting introduced, and we could vote on it today, it's just a matter of signing it. Right?
I prefer that.
Is it, what about the 10 days if there's a protest? I mean, do we have to wait on that or can we go ahead? That was my only question.
What was the publication date?
Well, that's different. There's two separate issues here. The first one is the congressional district with the creation of the precincts. The ordinance that you guys need to sign now is the one establishing the new council districts and the commissioner districts.
Okay.
And is that also a publication requirement for that, or is that?
I don't believe so. I think it just has to be presented in a public hearing and adopted in the public hearing.
Public hearing or public meeting?
Public meeting, sorry. Public meeting, yes, it
Public
is.
hearing would be bad.
Yes, it would be. Sorry. So, yes, the ordinance that I had already given you, nothing's
Tony
changed.
does have this, so I mean, we can. If you want to look at it.
So we can approve this contingent on the ordinance number, Dan. We don't have that number. Do we have that number?
Ordinance number.
Should be 17.
I'll make a motion to accept the ordinance number 2021-17, accepting the new established county commissioner and county council districts in 2021 moving forward.
All second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Anything else from you?
Thank you for all the work going into
No,
that.
thank you.
Yeah,
Well, it was like, normally we have 6 months,
right.
6 weeks, and then plus of the racing.
And just so everyone's clear, to get within 10% deviation takes a lot of work. It does. That's not an easy process and not an easy task, and there's a lot of number, a lot of math that have to work out precisely.
And the fact that the contiguous townships, you can't take Davis Township and put a whole.
So yes, thank you.
Oh, and
Okay, Steve,
Okay, Rusty.
we're ready for you.
You're not.
Yes, we are.
What I'm giving you is a version of what we have as far as when we have a major storm or a major project. That's all the information we can get out of it with everything that we log in it, because our chart system is so far out of whack that we can't get a good update. That was the storm of July the 4th weekend. And the total on that, as far as what we could come up with and what we entered, was only 14,500. That doesn't include any pipe, that doesn't include anything else. That's just man hours, truck hours, and equipment hours. So we are in the process of looking to update either our charts and or the GIS system that you guys, I think, have here still. We have the tail end version of it.
Okay.
We have no updates. We have nothing. I have a computer that has all the pipe and road work we did back 15 years ago that we can't use because we don't have anything to read it from. So that's one of the things we're looking into, and I just wanted to give you an idea that how poor our reporting is because we don't have updated system.
Who comes up with the equipment cost?
Pardon?
Who comes up with the?
IDOT, Purdue, LTAP, IDOT.
It's nice of them that a lot of it's zero. It would help those numbers if you were multiplying by zero.
Right, right, and I understand, see, that's what I say, we have no control over what we have. We have an existing chart system, and that's, you see what we get back after everything we put in, it doesn't pick up
They don't
anything,
pick up half of it.
nothing.
Right.
Exactly,
See that?
so you can almost triple what that figure is, what that storm cost. That doesn't go back to the first one where we had the 8.5, 2 inches, and we put in those 60-foot pipes down on 500. Those pipes alone would double that score.
Sure.
And so I think in order to properly report what's going out, we definitely need to look at these programs and get them updated. So that's the only thing. The other thing I did give the council the sheets that I gave you guys on the 2 road graders. I didn't ask you for them, and they didn't ask to, they didn't do anything on it because you hadn't acted. And I'm gonna make a strong suggestion you act on it. You're looking at a situation where it's a possible year before you get any, you've got 2 that we can't get any more extended warranties or nothing, and both of them, you're looking at major situations of something that's both 12 and 13 years old. Is this something I'm
So
trying to?
Christine, my question was, I think at the time that you did bring it up, was do you have the funds for it? And if not.
No, and at that time we did, and then we still are working with our restricted, we're still working back and forth with the 2 different things. Our new clerk is learning fast, and she's the one that is showing me what we can and can't do with our system. So in order to get everything put together, I think that's our first step, but we need to move on these because it's gonna be a situation at some
Do you
point.
need to sign or let them know before the end of the year? Is that?
Yes, or we face the 7.5% increase. I just wanted to lock it.
If it's in your budget and you have the funds and everything, I mean.
I don't
What do we
know.
actually have to pay for them when they come in 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, on delivery.
On the record?
Yeah, and it's 55,000 a piece, so it's 112,000 right at that. And I have not looked that far ahead. I've been gone all weekend. I took the budget home to try to look at that and didn't.
So did we discuss the possibility of opposed to buying them outright to use and restricted as a leasing option for those? I think that was really the question from us last time.
I thought if you were on restricted, you could use a lease, you couldn't use a buy.
That's
the way I
correct.
understand it.
I think that was our question, is it better for us to lease them and use that restricted fund opposed to buying them outright?
My personal opinion is yes. That's just personal. I don't have figures to back that or show you. I can, I'll get those if that's what you want, but I'm looking at the time factor. You got about 10 days left. You either sign it or don't sign it. I don't like to stick my neck out in anticipation that I can find it in without knowing. I mean, I have no problem signing the lease as long as I know somebody says we can work it out. And poor Colleen's been trying to get me straightened out all for the
That's
last
all
year, so I don't want to put any more burden on her.
No, you're
Does leasing change availability opposed to buying one?
No, sole order has no priority.
I don't mind giving a motion, but I don't know what I'm giving a motion on if we're gonna choose to buy or lease.
All I'm saying is let's sign some kind of an agreement with them,
Well, we could make that motion contingent on, whether you have. to go
depending on
lease.
whether the funding's available either way, yes.
Correct.
And I can sign a lease, I assume, I'm looking right at, yeah.
So, I think something.
Well, if I sign a lease right now to accept the trade-ins, which they allowed us a very good healthy trade-in. Before these two go bad, I sign a lease and try to not have any problem with them. I'm signing something I don't have set in the budget. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it could be there, it could maybe not be there. But in order to save 7.5%, I can wait.
Yeah, Rusty, I think you have money on a line item in your restricted. You have the money. You just
I'm pretty
probably
sure I do,
don't- You
but,
don't have it on a line for, that says lease.
right,
That's it. That's the only snafu, but I think where you have, we can pay for it out of there.
yeah. And I agree with that, but I want to know for a fact I do have it.
Well, and I think Colleen has said, yes, there is money available to spend, so we don't have to worry about doing additional appropriation or anything.
No,
So
no, I didn't
if
think
you
so.
want an action, from the commissioners to give you the go-ahead, we can certainly do that. And then you can work with the auditor as far as what
Okay.
line item.
I don't have a problem with that because, yeah, she's always been good on that, so.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure John Deere has it in writing before the end of this month to save 7.5%, and then we're locked on the trade-in amount, no matter if it takes 2 years to get them. That's what they're giving us, so.
So I guess.
So we could back out of this if we wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
At a certain time, we back out.
Yeah, you're not locked until the time of delivery.
Delivery. Okay.
And once they're delivered or whatever, I know, I'm sure you will have the funding set by whichever we decide.
I'll give you a motion to proceed with the 2 graders. Contingent on those 2 scenarios. I think from our standpoint, if you could use that restricted fund.
Right.
We struggle to use sometimes anyways.
Right.
I would be just personal aspect, be up for using that fund if able.
It is my understanding, lease can be
Correct.
purchases.
Yes, yes. So I'll make a motion for you to proceed on those 2 graders.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
All right.
There you go. Thank you.
The only other thing I have I just want to thank God that we haven't had a major blizzard. One of our trucks should be done first week of January. They say it's done today. They want us to go pick it up, and I'm not gonna take responsibility of picking something up, driving it to Terre Haute to get it pre-inspected for delivery, and then whatever on insurance, so I'm gonna make a phone call here, they can deliver it when it's ready. That's 1. 3 weeks from now, we should get number 2. Now, if you remember, those were ordered this time last year.
Right.
So we possibly need to look at 2 more single axles for next year. And put them back into this program, and you guys will have a complete circle of equipment, should be top notch, ready to go. And that's all I'm gonna say. I've got a situation with a bridge. Right now, VS Engineering has given me a bridge, in the process of putting together. We have the bridge package, the construction's already started, we're in good shape with 2 mile downstream. We have another bridge identical to that one, that I have the blueprints for it back when it was a federal bridge. And you guys were within $6,000 of having that bridge replaced. If you go back to and
You
look,
misspoke.
pardon? Now, let me rephrase, the county government was within $6,000 having that bridge replaced. Anyway, it's been pulled. I've been doing some negotiating. I would like your permission to have Roger check both sets of blueprints, do the initial, what we can and can't do versus the IDM protection part, the drainage and everything. He doesn't work for me, he works for you guys. And I really appreciate it if you'd ask him to help me to see if this bridge is possible. And if it is, I can get this bridge for $11.5 million in and use it.
You have to ask nicely.
No.
I appreciate it, because this is an opportunity, you got a 6 mile non-usable bridge sitting in the middle of it. It's a 3-ton wood floor bridge. It is not in any historical rings, and you've appropriated $108,000 every year to do something with it. Well, I've got a plan, I can do something with it if you guys all back us on this. The money is available, I just want to get it done, but I need his certification, so to speak.
I have to go through Army Corps of Engineer and I just to get the right permits, because we will be constructing an navigable waterway. It's jurisdictional. And it shouldn't be that hard to do. I just need to put some plans together, send it to them, get approval, and then we can pull the trigger on it.
Well, and the show you were explaining what goes on kind of behind the scenes, the public generally doesn't hear. When we first started meeting with USI to do our bridge consultancy.
Right.
A year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. That was one of the first things they pointed out, that Butler Fairman, which was another bridge inspection company.
Right.
One of the top ones in the state also, had done all this work. And it made absolutely no sense for USI to go back and start over.
Right.
Let Butler Fairman continue that job. I got news for you, there's not many companies that would have told you that.
I know that.
And that was one reason we went with USI, is because they, at that point, you know, we were just looking.
Well, and Butler
When
Fairman,
company tells you that,
right, Butler Fairman that said we paid for the blueprints, they have a problem sending it so that we can get a comparison with the other one that is approved and try to see if we feasibly can do it, let's do it.
right?
Done with it, it's out, and we've got 6 mile roadway open up for the local farmers. Right now, there's 4 either way to get around it, so, or 6 total. So I thank Butler Fairman for sending me the blueprints. I thank VS Engineering for their package that we're doing upstream, and that should be completed soon. And then I talked to Roger, and he says, you gotta get permission to the council, so, or the commissioners or whatever. And so that's why I'm here to present that to you. And if you guys don't have a problem with him helping, be great.
I'll make a motion to give Roger permission to work with Rusty and the Highway Department on any services you need on that.
Thank you.
All second?
All those in favor?
Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Mary, before you get up.
I am getting up. I just. Go ahead.
I had a couple farmers approach me about this 2 or 3 years ago. And I've had 3 approach me this year around harvest. Dry Run, which is north of the Asian Road.
Mhm.
That 15-foot bridge there, that's got the lake signs on it. They can get semis through it, but they can't get any tillage equipment.
You
or
can get
anything.
it sent up to it if you do your good driver, the school bus just early. I sent that to USI, and that's part of, on the community crossings and stuff also. And maybe this package that we're doing on the other bridge, just 2 miles north, will fit that same structure.
I mean, there's a point.
I know.
Won't lock the signs off for you. Pick it up.
Well, I understand their frustration. There is also a humongous beaver dam north of that, or west of it, that is out in the road. And Roger got my information to shoot them, so. I mean, we're laughing at that, but that's basically what the DNR, you know, that generally does. If you've got road damage, yeah.
And they give permission to remove the beaver.
Remove.
There we go.
Right.
You know, so whether you're out in the county, you're
Right.
shooting it or trapping it or petting it, whatever you want to do.
Dynamite.
So it is.
Yeah, we are working on that. Yes, that bridge, I think is Bridge 55 maybe, I think, but I sent that to Justin on the,
Okay.
yeah. That one we put in for federal, but we may look at it local. Because that's a simple fix and a lot less, headaches and paperwork. too. So,
Okay.
yes, sir. Anything else? Because I did zip up this time.
Just a point of clarification for the commissioner, the lawyers, we're all sitting here. What I'm helping Rusty with is getting permits for that prepackaged bridge and the location of upstream.
Right.
The geotechnical is probably been done by US, all the design has been completed. I'm not touching any of that, I'm just getting the correct permits for him to install that bridge. I want to make sure that we go on record that I'm not redesigning the bridge, I'm not touching that package, I'm just getting permission to install.
And while you're setting that, we looked at possible trailer for Stacy, your secretary, to get her out of that office. We're not as much worried about you and Travis, because you guys get to come and go as you want. Your offices can probably stay and look at those trailers, and they're just awful expensive for what you get. So Andrew has found what we're gonna call a she shed, Youngish building, 12 by 20. They're heated and air conditioned, very nice little buildings, and they're around $12,000. And we can set it right outside the door. She can use the restroom inside. It'll just be her workplace.
And I did share that with Dudley, you know,
Right.
as another option, because I think originally Andrew found a $6,000 one around the Champaign area, but I think that's gone, so then he found the she shed possibility.
The only problem area you have in that thing, yes, Travis and I can get in and out. You've got a shop foreman that sits in there.
I get it, but for 9
And she
months,
sits in there.
for 9 months now, we've tried to get parts for
I
exhaust
understand.
systems. They're just non-existent, non-existent. So, I mean, we've done every angle we can to get that shop fixed. And at this
All I'm
point, we
saying
need
is-
to move, at least move her out. I don't know about 4 parts.
I mean-
I didn't know if there was something that we could.
Put 2
look
office
into
spaces in
to,
it.
an air.
Oh, yeah, you can put your, yeah, if he wants to.
That's
go
all
there,
I'm saying,
absolutely.
give him the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
12 by 20, there's plenty of room.
that's
Two
fine. I
desks
don't have a
facing each
problem.
other.
I don't need.
Because we do need to
Yeah,
look into
you
other,
guys are
whether
in
a
and
new
out.
building or anything. I did talk to Dudley, you know, about that, you know, future. We may have to pull the trigger on that.
I understand, and I'm fine with
Right
it,
now, we
as
just
long as
need-
I can get 2 of them.
The
Right
previous secretary said when she moved to the jail, she had no idea how bad she actually
I know,
felt
she told me,
until she got out of that situation.
I know, she told me. And I think there's more.
So I think the council, you know, if it's an agreement, you know, with the commissioners, they know the seriousness of it. And I think we're willing to work together to come up with
That's fine.
something. you know.
That's fine, those 2 sit in there all day, and those are the only 2 I'm really concerned with, about at least having 2 spaces. If they need parts, he can go back in there, open the door and do whatever. If she needs something in there in the files, she can go back and do that.
We cannot get the exhaust. It's just, it doesn't
You
exist.
cannot, you cannot.
But we can fix the exhaust fan, and Reynolds is on that. It's on his list to do.
I'd appreciate you for that. Before
Now, whether the guys
working
turn
on
it on or not, up to them.
And you know, we received an email, I think Jim Lee had visited you guys.
Yes.
You know, we've had 3 people down there do air studies already. And they all kind of do the same thing. We did the positive pressure in the office already. That's something we've already done. And
Right.
the positive pressure blowing air out, that we know nothing gets sucked in. It's still happening. There's just so much in there. So that, we have been working on this for months now, and people have been in there,
Right.
and we've all been down
Newton's
there.
Restoration, they come and clean the walls and done everything. As you all know, light fixtures are falling out on them. They're removing stuff off the walls are crumbling, the block walls are crumbling. They see that from all the years of the diesel exhaust has deteriorated that building. I know they wouldn't put it on paper, but they said one day that building is just gonna, something will fall off of it.
Right, right. I knew that.
So,
And I appreciate all your efforts.
but, so it's not like we haven't been trying to do it, the state's been very patient.
I know.
We tried and tried and tried, and the COVID situation the way it is, we can't get parts,
Right.
settling some.
Well, the biggest problem is that I have with the situation is the fact that I've got a great clerk. And I hate to lose her because of that.
Oh, and if we don't do something,
I know,
she's that close.
I know. I know.
And we have been letting her go home, take her from home.
Well, she can roll the phone, she has the system all tied into her computer, but then again, that's at
They
her
still
cost.
need her there.
That's at her cost.
Yeah, and you still need her.
And availability, if we need part or something, how much funded. So that used to all be in mine back in the old chart system. I could tell what was in the budget. I had no access to the budget at all through my computer system. And it seems like every time an upgrade comes over here, we don't follow through and try to get that over there so that we can communicate better. So I think this.
Who has $12,000, $13,000? We can get this thing going, get it over, and stop beating the horse.
We have to do capital outlay on anything, like a
It's all
little
gone.
here, everything.
By January 1.
January.
January 1, we can get an additional.
Can we order one?
Well, I
I'll put out orders.
We should
We're not
have
there.
our funds available
No,
in
they
January.
Right.
So-
On-
But
Yeah.
there's, I don't think there's anything,
Capital outlay,
right, not a lot. I'll have to look.
because used to, we would budget so much and, whether it's county farm, county general maintenance, cap development, county
What's
general.
the council's thought on funding?
Get it, because I'm Jim and I was in, you're gonna taste the fuel.
Oh, yeah.
And, as soon as we can get that thing over there, I think it'd be a plus. The longevity of that building, you know, and I know, it might be a waste of time to put more money outside of that.
Guaranteed.
And so I'm just saying that somewhere in capital outlay,
We just gotta find her some money to get it.
find the money, and as far as I'm concerned, I can't speak to the council, but Jim and I have sent a letter.
If in,
That is a,
if in a year we can get parts and you get things right, we can get it done, we can sell the thing. We can sell it, we're done with it. But until then, she needs to be out there. And the parts man.
Yeah, but like I said, Travis and I check in and we're in and out, we can be out of that real quick, so. But I definitely.
Still use all the restroom, maybe leave the copier in there, whatever. Just put a desk, phone, and computer out
Yeah, that's fine.
there's room for two, you said.
there. And like 20, should be. Yeah, more.
Well, once we find out, they did have some on site, some existing, once we find out some of those, I'll send everybody the information on those.
I appreciate it.
I'd like to shoot by January, first week of January.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Have something delivered current, because we're gonna have to get the phone lines ran out and everything else.
Sorry.
Well, it just makes it easier for everybody if I can show you results too, and if she's right there on hand, we can do things. It's a lot easier than calling her on the cell.
Right.
She puts it in her computer and then gets it back there and then prints it out back there and gives it to us, so. She's doing all that on her own.
And it's, it's pretty insignificant amount of money
Right,
for what she's dealing with.
right.
Okay.
Okay,
By the way, Jim, are you with me on that? I think it needs to be done, guys.
okay, well, Andrew will look into seeing about getting that shed, and then we can work with y'all as far as what's paid out. And we'll probably have to do additional appropriation, maybe we can work with the
Whatever you
council
need
on
me
which
to
stuff they
do.
wanna pay for it out of.
Whatever you need me to do, I'm willing to do that, or sign or whatever.
Brenda, before you're finished, can I go back and ask you a question on these graders? Can you give me, my forgotten, whatever, can you give me a price on these graders that Leslie's got to speak for?
They're $55,680 some a piece, I think. Yes, for lease.
Is that a lease payment? or-
That's a lease payment for 5-year, $1 buyout. As long as it's under a lease buyout, then you can use it as restricted. You can't buy it out of restricted, but you can lease
And you got a chance, Tim, you just asked a minute ago, you got a chance to bail out on that? Is that what you asked him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If in
it. If my
next
line
year
item
we
was
decide
covered,
we don't have the money, he can get out.
Yeah.
The other question is, I got down here from Roger. Road graders, and you got here to this, and Roger Azar wants to make it clear that when the roads are being worked on and the ditch is being recreated, there needs to be a stabilization of the side of the road. And I understand now, who, are you talking with the farmers? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
When you're talking with the farmers on that?
No, what I was talking about is when the county goes in and grades the road, we grade the road, we compact them. They ought to work on the ditches as well, but we can't leave those ditches naked. We have to treat them, we have to either seed them and strong, when it's not in the growing season, we have to put matting down that protects erosion, to stop erosion. Otherwise, what's gonna happen, you're gonna go through a winter time, and come spring, you're gonna have big cutouts in those ditches, and you're gonna have to go back and re-ditch them and do all that. What I was saying is, when we're working through the road, we work a mile, let's fix the road, fix the ditches, stabilize the ditches, and move on to the next mile. Don't just leave the ditches naked to where erosion control would cause sedimentation to the creeks and what have
We're talking gravel as well as asphalt.
you. Yeah, well, no,
netting. You seen those roads with netting down on Bone Break. You saw how we did the side with netting. And then all the land that we disturbed, we re-netted. That's what he's talking about. When we go down and get that road done, there'll be netting in the ditch. That allows the grass to come through, protect from erosion, and keeps the water draining properly instead of cutting and making a big washout.
I just heard a minute ago talking with you, that here we have these people that are working maintenance on these islands. All right, I dump a dirt right back into the ditches,
I heard that.
you know, what's our? Been a little bit.
No, I think, you know, legal can tell us if they're within our right of way, they can remove that spoils. Negotiate with the farmer, if the farmer wants to spoil, they can put it on the farm, otherwise they gotta ship it out. They cannot be filling in ditches, trying to ditches.
And they will.
I'm sure they're gonna do that.
Yeah, they'll do it. I mean, they'll take it out, what they put in, but just right now, they go like their pile.
That same company is the one that put the high lines in Warren County, JW Electric. They filled the ditches with gravel and everything, and then they came back and they rebuilt everything according to IDEM specifications.
Right, but right now, if you get a 7-inch rain like we had last spring, you're gonna lose the road.
Well, you're gonna lose a lot of stuff.
You're gonna use a lot of stuff.
And if you, when you block the ditches, you're gonna have runoff across the road, that road that just costs us so much dollars to come back, it's gonna just.
I don't think so. Tim, what my fascinating is that they didn't put culverts in the ditches like they did over there. They brought out last time and put it everywhere there was a ditch. And then covered it.
Because we had nothing on the books, when they had, they called and asked. Wow. They couldn't believe we didn't. So, but yeah, we can call them down. Hey. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm done.
Moving on.
Roger.
I'm not on the schedule, can I get 5 minutes from you guys?
Okay.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
All right, 5 minutes.
How about three?
How about 2? All right. The phase 1 environmental site assessment on the building in Covington. I got all the federal reports in. I did a quick scan on it. It looks really good. I just need to finish my job and get you a complete phase 1 on it. But off the bat, it looks really good. And I'll just go through the details of it. The one item is the sewer that came up, that there may be issues with the sewer. We do not know if there is an issue or not, but it was a possibility. They said there was backups and stuff. I talked to Brenda and then you were at the site, and we talked about getting a sewer company to take a look at that. I talked to Glenn Price in Crawfordsville. He has the cameras and the jets to come in and check that sewer. The cost is not cheap. It's probably about $25,000 to $30,000. I just want, you're okay to do that, because he has to go from the manhole into the building.
2,500 to 3,000.
Yes, 25.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
I can
I thought it was
see.
25,000.
I did too.
I can see the look.
I was like, holy cow.
2,500 feet.
Yeah.
I can build this over for 25,000.
Yeah.
No,
It's like,
so
I'm in the wrong.
if it's okay with you, I just didn't take it upon myself to pull the trigger until I get the thumbs up from the commissioners to spend on my.
That's fine, because I can't think of anybody local other than it's Johnson and that, or
Johnson's, well, he's in Warren County.
Warren County.
He's out there, yeah.
So I have a yes on that.
Yes.
Okay, and the last thing is Mr. Pebble. I know this is not a drainage board, but Mr. Pebble was calling and saying, what are you doing? Where are we? What's going on with my drain? And I think he's itching because it's a downtime right now and it'd be a good time for him to put that drain in. I told him, I said, you know, legal was looking into it, there's a process we have to follow.
We can get that all going in January.
Okay. All right, if I can just tell him that, you know, we're gonna have a meeting in January and kind of, because I think, just from what we've talked about, we all agree that this has to happen, or that this will happen at some point. And for us to do that, I need to redefine my cost, what the initial cost we had, I mean, that was a year and a half ago, nothing is the same anymore. So I'll have to get a new cost on that, so, I'll get back with Mr. Pebble, because I don't like to blow him off. He's a really nice guy. I'll tell him that in January we'll start the process moving forward with that. My 2 minutes are out.
Can,
Then that'll be the second meeting in January, second we can try to get that going.
just so you're aware, on the Maple corner, he's obviously getting his stuff done, but both appraisals were completed last week. We haven't gotten them back yet, so they're compiling them, but
Okay.
I expect to see them, I would think, this week.
Greg did my seat, so you need to say something.
Yeah, you can just stay right there.
All right.
While Roger's sitting there, on the landfill, just so you know, Russ was talking about the storms and stuff. We've had some damage done out at the landfill. And, I called Roger came out and we reviewed it. And, Daryl, we called Daryl out to meet with us. There's some damage that we're gonna have to do some repairs on. Roger's getting together a plan so that we know we've got the funding. I mean, as long as we maintain that amount of money for maintenance and stuff. But I just want to give you guys a heads up that we're gonna have a bill coming up. Roger was talking to Daryl about maybe he could do some of the stuff through the winter time, but the erosion and everything like Rusty was talking about, it's washed out in the area and we're gonna have to rebuild it. And so, we're gonna be working on that, but I want to give you guys a heads up. No, we're trying to.
We're trying to get ahead of the state.
Yeah, we're
This
trying
is
to get ahead
something
of
we
the
need to do.
Well, that's awesome. We don't know. If they do, Roger and I both agree, they're due to come out and do a inspection. They'll just show up out there and do it, and then they'll call me and say, hey. So we can say, we know about it, we got a plan, he's working on that. As soon as he gets that, I'll share that with everybody, and the schedule to when Daryl's gonna be able to do the repairs.
Those are maintenance type minor repairs. This is not, the cap is in excellent shape. I walked it. I mean, it looks great.
we need to thank Greg for the little bit of money we paid him to watch that, but he does an excellent job at that landfill. It's never been so well taken care of in 30 years it's been closed.
I agree with that.
Because we were getting a lot of hot water everywhere.
All right, that's it for me.
Thank you.
And you got your chip back.
I do. Are you done?
No, I was just gonna wish everybody Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thanks, Robert. Thank you.
I do have something I'll keep this short. This has to do with the rate grant that the governor did announce last week. And our region did get $30 million. So I am on the governing board with Brent Barvan stepping down. I don't know if the commissioners are gonna have to appoint someone to replace him on that governing board or how.
Well, now, doesn't that governing board go to the two business people from Fountain County that's supposed to sit on it and help distribute the money? Or?
We're gonna be meeting in January, so
Okay.
I'll reach out to Scott Walker and see, what Fountain County will need to do. because we are gonna go through everything that was submitted and, you know, go down, because I think we can ask for a lot more than that, so. I just want to give you guys that.
Right. Our project for that was the Circle Trail, or
Correct.
actually for the county,
And
and then Attica downtown.
yes, those were the two. So I know Dale White shared with all of us and the council, you know, the announcement and everything. So I just want to give everybody a heads up. We haven't got to that point, as I think the trail will do very well because it was rated in the top 10, you know, with the ready for the governing board. So fingers crossed, you know, that will, and hopefully we can go off of that and do some other things, you know, for the county. That's all I have.
Opioid settlement. Are we talking about that one time, didn't
We filed the correct paperwork.
Great, because it was in Crawfordsville paperwork, Montgomery County done it. The constituents are ringing my phone up, wow, we didn't want that opioid, I think so. Okay. Okay. And then the only other thing I wanted to talk, since we got 3 council members here, was on the demolition and where we're at on that. So, the reason we asked for $150,000, because 84,000 actually take it down. And then we don't know what these tanks are going to, we don't know what these tanks are going to cost to take out, and we didn't even know it was there in the beginning. We have no idea. If there's no pollution and nothing found, you got a gas project? I hope so. Well, I mean, do you have a, what did the county highway cost?
I think if I remember correctly, the sampling and analysis were 12,000 or something like that, and then the whole project was around $45,000.
Yeah, you doing all the work,
Right.
which was 250 samples, wasn't it?
No, we had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 samples.
Oh, I thought there was 250.
No, we did
A bunch of pictures or?
Yeah, we had anticipated if we found something that we would have to chase it with a lot more sampling. And by the grace of God, we came clean. I still don't know how that tank came clean. It smelled like diesel. I was ready to put my paycheck on it, and it came clean.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But
So
that's something, Tim, I really,
We might not even use 20,000, we just wanted to have enough in case there was pollution there, and that might not be enough.
as an environmental engineer, I really recommend we do something with that tank, because we know it's there, we found it. If you didn't find it and they had dug it up by mistake and punctured it, or caused more trouble.
Yeah.
We know it's there, it's right outside the building, it should be a small tank based on the inlet that's coming out.
Right.
Whether you demolish the building today or in 5 years, just put a plan in there for us to remove those tanks. We can do them immediately and let them sit, and you guys can decide whether you do the building, or we can do it just before the building demolition. I would like to get it done before they remove the building, that way all associated piping can come out and get capped. That's my recommendation to you guys. If we have a small amount of spill, it's not a big deal, we can mediate that, but if we end up with a major spill.
The building is totally worthless to anyone. Every water line in it is not, there's a water line in the boiler room where the furnaces and things are. It's about that big around, and ice busted it last year. When they were walking through with the contractors, they all noticed that they're like, wow, look at the power of Mother Nature. It just shattered a 1/4 inch steel pipe. So that building is full of mold. The people from the state of Indiana who came down to Untitled, they were going to recover wires from the big antenna there that are going into the radio room. They were in there less than 4 minutes and said, we're not recovering anything in this thing. We're out of here. They don't even want to go in it. So
Carol can give you an example of that, but she.
Who are we removing,
removing the tanks, will the same people that will be tearing down the jail remove them?
Now, I think we just have to do what we did the first time, and split it out for bid. Last time we only had their own did it, and, it was within the engineering cost estimate, so the commissioners gave it to them. I think we'll do the same thing, and we just estimate how many samples we need, then we'll just do it. I mean, it will go out, you know, it'll have to go out for bid, but last time we did it, there was only one that submitted it.
Members. Walden's might bid if they get to go ahead and tear the jail down, might have their equipment over.
That's fine.
Another thing I think the council was concerned about, what are your plans to do with that building once it is demolished? And
Once
cleared
Once
up?
cleared and prepping the grass. I don't know why we would want to mow it the rest of our lives. I would say get 2 certified appraisals and put it on, or sell it at auction, get 2 certified appraisals and put it up for sale. I mean, it's not gonna be worth a whole lot with a 200-foot antenna on it, sitting right next to County Highway garage. But get 2 appraisers and say what it's worth. And somebody can buy
The
it.
problem we're having is, at the time when we started the process to demolish it, Maple Corner wasn't even a thought at that time. So we went through the motions to get it demolished. Well, first, you know, the city wanted us to give it to them, you know. I don't think the council was happy about that, but, so we went through the bidding process, and then Maple Corner came in, so now it's like, well, if we do Maple Corner, what we're gonna do with this building repair, so I don't think anybody really was in favor of acting.
Well, I think they're 2 different things.
They are, but I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, this is,
timeline of
this is a
everything.
building that's totally worthless, we're
It is.
responsible for it. It
It is,
needs to go,
it is,
and this is a whole different problem.
but I think that was the council's hang up, because we had these things, they didn't really want to act on approving the additional, because they want us to wait and see what comes of it. That was the conversation I was having.
Brenda, I'm not gonna go on record here and say anything, it's, I don't have concrete, permission to do, because I'm not gonna do this, because the council needs to hear it as well. So I would like to talk to you after the meeting and about a conversation I had. And so I'm not gonna bring it out in the open, in the public meeting. It might help you guys to make a decision. And what I've heard from Roger, it certainly is a plus. I would definitely do that, and it's all part of that conversation. So before I do anything, saying in public, I would like to talk to you first. Is that okay? And then, I mean, unless you want me, you know, if that's okay.
No, I just was communicating with Dudley, you know,
Yeah.
last week after your meeting, and so he was I said, why didn't you go ahead with this? And he explained to me why. You know,
Yeah.
and I expressed my concern, he expressed his, you know, on behalf of the council.
And from what I've heard, the inside is worthless. The jail, the bars, I have no idea. You know, if you got mold, you got to mold on those too as well, so if you would please, I would discuss with you a little bit.
So
Okay.
that is all that you have on there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I talk to you after the meeting, so you know?
Anything else, if not?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We do. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.